Hey guys, it's Miss Katie Jane from Hoover Public Library. I'm wearing my brand new Black History Month shirt because it's Black History Month and I want to tell you about some of these amazing books that you can read, not just this month, but all year long. We're going to start with some books about someone very young and also someone very old who made a difference. The first one is I Am Ruby Bridges. Now, this book was written by the actual Ruby Bridges. That's right, the 6-year-old who bravely faced angry crowds to integrate her school. She went through so much as a young person, but she didn't stop there. She continued on to fight for the rights of others. This biography is written by her as if she is a 6-year-old girl telling the story. You'll definitely want to take a look. And then there was a woman named Opal Lee who she did something amazing starting when she was 89 years old. Starting at age 89, she went door to door across the United States fighting to make Juneteenth a national holiday. She collected 1.5 million signatures, which she forwarded to the United States Congress. This book, Opal Lee and What It Means to Be Free, is the true story of the grandmother of Juneteenth. We are hitting the road to reading with this next group of books. All of these take history on wheels. The first one is Because Claudette, and this is about Claudette Colvin, an Alabama teenager who was actually the first person arrested for not giving up her seat on a Montgomery City bus. Months later, Rosa Parks did the same thing and launched a big movement within the city of Montgomery, a bus boycott. But it all began with a 15-year-old girl, because Claudette tells her side of the story. Now, a lot of times when you read about the Montgomery bus boycott, of course, Rosa Parks is the name you hear about again and again. And then sometimes you'll hear about Claudette Colvin. But are you familiar with Georgia Gilmore? In Sweet Justice, it teaches us all about how Georgia Gilmore was part of the Montgomery bus boycott. Yes, she didn't ride on the buses, but she's did something really cool that other people didn't maybe think to do. She made sure that all of the protesters were well fed because they were walking everywhere since they weren't taking the buses. So it would not have been successful without her support, her secret support from her kitchen. This tells her true story, Sweet Justice. This next one is about a woman called Bessie the Motorcycle Queen. Now, Bessie was a young Black woman, and at the time that she was a young Black woman, it was not safe to be very many places by yourself. And it was certainly not encouraged to jump on a motorcycle and drive all over the country. But that is exactly what Bessie did. She was groundbreaking in women's motorcycling. And she's someone I'd never heard of until I read this book. It may be the same for you. I hope you will read Bessie the Motorcycle Queen. And then the last book in this little set is called Going Places. It's all about Victor Hugo Green and his glorious book. So you know how I said it wasn't safe to travel? Not just when you were a young Black woman by yourself, but many Black people were not safe when they were taking vacations, road trips, because not every town would be welcoming. And so Victor Hugo Green, he created a book that was known as the Green Book, and it was filled with all the places that your Black family could rest and relax and take a break on your trips across our country. It changed the face of travel for Black Americans, and you can learn all about it when you read Going Places. Do you see this big stack of books? All of the ones in here focus on beauty, architecture, art, music, the stuff that makes us feel valued and special. This is going to be a group of biographies about some cool people and also a cool place. We're going to start with Curve and Flow, the elegant vision of LA architect Paul R. Williams. Now, Paul was someone who could really draw from the time he was young, but his art pursuits were not encouraged because he was a Black child. But he didn't give up. and he especially liked to draw buildings. This led him to pursue a career in architecture, which was very hard at the time, especially where he lived in Los Angeles, because mostly you could only get cool houses if you were white. They were blocked to black families, and white people did not want to hire a black man to help design their dream home. But Paul was able to rise above the racism, and he built so many beautiful houses in Los Angeles. Find out how he did it in Curve and Flow. This next book has been published by the Smithsonian Museum, known as the National Museum of African American History and Culture. And it focuses on a woman named May Reeves. This book is called May Makes Her Way, and it's all about how she took something pretty simple, hats, and turned them into works of art. And not only were the hats beautiful, but it made the women who wore them feel beautiful and confident as well. Now she has her own exhibit at this museum, and you can learn all about her in May Makes Her Way. This next lady also worked really hard to make others feel beautiful. This book is called Only the Best, and it is the exceptional life and fashion of Anne Lowe. Anne Lowe was raised in a dress shop in Alabama. She learned her skills from her family, and she could make beautiful creations. But again, she had to fight against, would they let a black woman make beautiful clothes for white people to wear? She worked hard, she made beautiful things, and she finally caught the eye of someone who was about to get married, someone who was about to marry John F. Kennedy. And all of a sudden, this lady is a very prominent fashion designer, the first nationally famous black fashion designer. Learn all about her in Only the Best. All right, our last biography about a person who does beautiful things is this one, Wonderful Hair, The Beauty of Annie Malone. And this is about a woman who she did not like the products that were available to tame her hair and the products that she was able to use on her clients because she was a hairdresser. And she developed her own line of beauty products. Not only did she create something beautiful to make people feel beautiful, she taught others how to do the same. So she was not only an artist, but an entrepreneur. Make sure you read Wonderful Hair to find out how she did it. And then this last book is not really a biography because it's not about a person. It's about a city that has long been filled with black beauty. H is for Harlem. It goes through every letter of our alphabet to tell you about all the ways beauty has shown up in the city of Harlem. There's going to be dancing, there's going to be theater, there's going to be art, there's going to be words, music. There's everything happening, and you'll find out when you read H is for Harlem. Don't worry, sports fans, I did not forget about you. I have 3 great books for those of you who like to keep things a little more active. This first one is called All-Star, How Larry Doby Smashed the Color Barrier in Baseball. Now, everyone's heard of Jackie Robinson, right? He is the man who integrated Major League Baseball. But who was the second? That's right, just 11 weeks later, Larry did it. And he has a story to tell. So if you think you know everything there is about Major League Baseball integrating, think again and read All-Star. This next one is about someone, unless you're super into figure skating, you may not have heard of. This story is called Marvelous Mabel, and it is about Mabel Fairbanks. She was the first black figure skating superstar. She is the first black woman to be inducted into the National, Figure Skating Hall of Fame thing. But she got a very rough start. She was orphaned by age 8. She bounced around from family member to family member. She was even homeless for a time. And it wasn't until she was taken in by someone that she referred to as her Uncle Wally, who helped her achieve her dreams. She had seen ice skating, she thought it was amazing, but ice skating takes money, it takes equipment, and Uncle Wally made sure she had everything she needed to pursue her dreams. Was it easy? No. When she quit competing as a figure skater, did she leave the arena altogether? No. She actually became famous for training Olympian figure skaters. and that's actually why she was inducted into the Hall of Fame. Learn more about Marvelous Mabel. And then this last one is about Taco Fall, the tallest person in the NBA. He came from Senegal. He is 7'6", and this book, To New Heights, it shows you that he's more than just super tall. He's taking basketball to new heights and his life to new heights in a variety of ways. This book was actually written by the player with help from a man named Justin Haynes. If you're super into basketball, you're going to want to read this one. Our final two books are about people from the past, but I love their message for the future. Moving Forward, From Space Age Rides to Civil Rights Sittings with Airman Alton Yates is all about Alton Yates, a man who served with dignity in the United States Air Force and then helped test all sorts of trials and experiments to prepare our country for space travel. But then, after all his service, he had a hard time getting back into regular American society. He faced hatred and racism at every turn. And it's what he did moving forward that has helped our country to continue to move forward in regards to race relations. Find out all about this amazing airman, Alton Yates. And the final one is called Not Done Yet, Shirley Chisholm's Fight for Change. Shirley, she's from Brooklyn. She was the first Black woman congressman. She was the first woman to seriously run for president. She did so many great things, but whenever you asked her about her accomplishments, she would always say, I'm not done yet. We're not done yet. And I think that's even true now. We can always move forward. We are definitely not done yet. Find inspiration in this book and all of these books this Black History Month and always. I'm Katie Jane from Hoover Public Library. Thanks. Happy reading. Bye-bye.